Uh, First of all, so it was like a eye-opening thing when you told you make time for it. You don't struggle to make time for it. Maybe it is going to be my wallpaper for a few more days. Uh,
Few more days, make it
so
for your life.
yes, definitely. So I would put it as a wallpaper in my laptop.
Right.
So I have a question. Let me try to deviate the conversation. So in
Lovely.
this period of pandemic, so we have seen most of the companies being shifted to this online mode. So
Correct.
if not all the companies, we have seen at least IT sector being shifted to the online mode.
Right.
So I read a recent survey, and it seems that most of the employees are very much happy working from home.
Right.
So even if I see my home, my mom is a teacher. She works from home, and we are all happier because she doesn't go out to work, and it is a happy environment. So do you think that once this pandemic is over, or a pause is there, so would it be a great idea to get employees back to their office, or it would be like continue work from home lifelong?
Right. Bhuvan, there's so many things that you said in your brief question. There were so many things. I was like, okay, this topic, that topic, this topic, right? So, for instance, I'll address the first one immediately, which is your mom's at working from home. She's a teacher, and you all are happy. You must ask her if she's happy. Her workload must have increased. Okay,
True.
that's one. Second, and coming to the question that you're asking. So it is, I mean, world over, and like you rightly said, the surveys part of it. Yes, a few countries are even experimenting, like Ireland and Finland have been experimenting, where they want to move from a 5-day work week to a 4-day work week. They wanted to have more and more opportunities for work from home, and they are seeing that their employees are a lot more productive at home. Again, now this again varies gender wise, because if it's the man, probably he is more productive because he has more time on hand. Again, these are stereotypes, but there could be obviously exceptions to the stereotypes, but nevertheless on a general basis, if we say, but if it's the woman, then she probably has to look after her child also in the same period of time. And then there are there are some cons where, because it's work from home, so the companies are expecting you to be available at all times. 12 o'clock in the night, I'll send you an email and, hello, aap to ghar pe hi ho na? So please answer the email. So it's a pro and con kind of a thing. So unless the companies come to a very, very disciplined way of doing it, which means, yes, we'll go for a 4-day work week, or yes, we will go for 5-day work week, but we will give the option of work from home as and when the employee wants, and probably have monthly meetings, whichever course that they decide to take. Or we decide that in our entire employee population, there are certain some amount of people who have to come to the office because they need to interface with the clients or with with systems in case of IT, and the rest of them can work from home. So whichever individual company decides to go, be it an MNC, be it a small company, or be it a mid-sized company, they need to stick to it. So it's not going to be a simple one-liner where all the companies across the world are going to say, yes, let's do work from home. It has to be individualized, it has to be customized, but the most important thing is that the companies need to kind of bring in that culture, whichever direction they decide to go. And of course, the employees also need to align with that culture. So it's only when everybody works hand in hand is when it's kind of going to be a success. But personally, if you would ask me what would I like, I would definitely like a 4-day work week, because I find myself more effective. But then this is my personal opinion.
You just said that men get more time to be productive, and women, they will take time to take care of their children and so on. Do you think this is a very barrier in the path of a woman, and is this the reason why women don't reach the top level jobs? Because at the end of 2020, we know that only 7.8% of all the CEOs in Fortune 500 were women. Women was only 7.8%. So
Right.
do you think this is the very barrier that is preventing women from reaching the top?
I would have to agree absolutely with you, Raksha, because this is a story of so many years, so many centuries, and it's not the story only in our country. It's the story everywhere. And again, this conversation has a lot of variables. It's not limited to only women who are mothers. It's probably also inclusive of women who are married but not mothers. It's inclusive of women who are not married. It's inclusive of women who are not married and have, let's say, an old father or a mother to look after, or a handicapped sibling to look after. So the primary role that of a caretaker whichever caretaker that she is, that a woman falls into, kind of is a barrier. That's to begin with. That's from the candidate point of view, if we call ourselves the employee point of view. If we look at organizations, again, there is a patriarchal thought process which is slowly changing, so that is a good thing. But it's slowly changing across the world, even inclusive of Hollywood also, where there is differential pay scale for the same role. And trust me, you're not going to feel this, and I don't think you guys have felt it till now. Because I remember till I finished engineering and probably till my first year MBA also, it never occurred to me that I'm lesser or I'm being denied of anything just because I have genetically different organs, right? It never strikes you. It's only when you go for the campus placement and you realize that you and your guy friend have gotten placed into the same company, but he's got 2 lakhs more, and you wonder why. That's where it begins, right? So again, like I answered Bhuvan's question, it is this also is a huge change. This is a much huger change. Your question is much larger than what Bhuvan asked. Bhuvan asked about working styles of the company, or the working culture. What you asked is how half the population of the world is going to change, and how they're going to be treated differently, and how they have been treated differently all these years. So it's going to be a combination of what the organizations do, so if Google does a good thing, then Microsoft wants to keep up, so they also put up those policies. And change cannot be at, okay, let's provide a creche facility for the mothers, let's give her extra holidays for her periods, for her menstruation. This is not change. Or let's groom the woman a little more. No, I think we women are extremely capable, especially today's workforce, which is inclusive of batches above me, batches below me, and my batches. I think every woman that I have met in the workforce has been extremely capable. So I don't think we need more training as to how to talk to the CEO, how to talk to my boss, how to present. That's we're done with. We know how to do that. The conversation now has to be taken by the men. Men have to be part of this conversation, and we cannot have finally, after so many years, if there is a role where it requires a woman, we cannot have male candidates or male colleagues saying, "Arey yaar, mujhe to nahi milne wala." This is a diversity role. We cannot have men talking like this. We cannot have our colleagues talk. Men have to be part of this evolution. Men have to be. It's not even an evolution. It's a change. And nobody's asking. When one says feminism, when one says equality, it actually means equality. It doesn't mean that now the men should not get promotions and the women should get promotion. It doesn't mean that. It just means women need to get their due. It also means women need to get the same pay scale at every level, not just at the CEO level. It also means that when the government of India or a lot of other corporate governments across the world pass policies like there have to be 2 or 3 women necessarily in the board, they should not be a tick in the box women, but they should be women who have a voice in the room. So this is a change, a beautiful question, and this is a very passionate subject of mine, because I work towards this and I speak about it, and I don't leave any opportunity to talk about it, because it is high time that the women come forward, and women not come forward, women are pushed forward, so to say. So change will come about when men are part of the conversation at all levels. Change will come about when organizations align and do not do a tick in the box. And change will come when equality is understood as equality. And when, of course, and most importantly, when the father also does his job at home, when the old mother's son or son-in-law also takes part in the caretaking, that's when equality will come. So equality or women growth is not only dependent on the office or the organization, it's also dependent on supportive partners at home. So all you boys in this conversation, you better be good partners.
Your passion is absolutely palpable, even here, sitting so far away.
Yes.
I now invite, thank you for that. Thank you for that passionate response. I don't know which of you has something different to say. Amulya. Okay, Amulya.